A little bit about some of the common themes and occurrences that have happened at our community levels, and what we run into as economic development directors and officers and people who are really adamant at trying to make our communities be, I guess, the most comfortable place for economic activity as possible for within our community environment. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the major hurdles and challenges that we run into when we're working with our communities. I think the number one challenge that we run into is the lack of understanding of what economic development is all about. Economic development is not just about gross domestic product or about getting what you would call profitability within our community environment. So it's about all aspects of our community development processes. It's about working with our communities to ensure that our communities are looked after socially, economically, and also to ensure that our environmental issues are dealt with and addressed. Because the key thing here is that we understand that development occurs at different levels within different community environments. I think the number one factor out of all of this is that we run into a lot of roadblocks with respect to people not wanting to move forward as quickly as they should be on economic development. I think our biggest challenge is that a lot of our communities are governed underneath the Federal Elections Act with respect to bans, and that means that your council is only in for a couple of years, and then there's a change, or about a year and a half into it, people start losing focus on what kind of economic activity they should be trying to implement because their terms are coming up. I think the key thing here is that when you're doing economic development at a community level, that you have to keep everybody informed. You have to let everybody within that community environment know what's going on. Also, you gotta be able to pull the trigger. I think a lot of the times that when we as community members and community leaders go out and when we work with them, they have a lot of hums and haws and are waiting maybe for that perfect opportunity, that perfect time to make things happen. In business and especially within economic development, you've got to understand that it's a risk and reward type of a process. You got to be willing to take that risk to get that reward, and more importantly, you have to look to some of our communities that are real leaders within the economic development realm. They don't sit and wait for the most ideal opportune time. They sit there with a plan, they understand what the plan is, and they start to implement that plan. They don't continue to tread over the same area and then revert back to point A, point B, or anything else like that. They have that plan, that economic vision, they have that economic plan in play, and they implement it. So I think those are some of the common themes that we run into when we're working with some of our communities that they want to have something happen. They revert back to, oh, well, we want to make sure that, everybody's in favor of this. Sometimes, it's important for the leadership to take that leadership role. We got to look at it from the perspective that we can no longer be reliant on social funding or anything else like that from within the federal environment. We have to make a future for our people, for our children, and those are some of the common themes and occurrences that happen at a community level on a fairly regular and consistent basis when we're out there. It's nice to be able to say that everybody has that economic focus that they can revert to. and they need to understand that, you know, economic development is more so dealing with all aspects of your community. You know, it's social, economics, and all of our pertinent issues associated with the environment. So, with that, you know, as a leader, as a person who goes into the communities and engages them, sometimes you have to just move forward and pull the trigger.